Hi everyone, my name is Shottam Raha. Today is 31st December and I'm starting this channel with a hope and with a vision. So let me first introduce you to my vision, why I'm opening this channel, why I'm starting out this new endeavor on the very last day of the year, and how this channel can help you, how the videos, the contents of this channel can help you, and who is the intended user. So let me first introduce you to my vision, why I'm starting this new channel, and why I'm starting this on the very last date of 2025 instead of starting it on some 1st January or likewise. So you see, I'm a student of science and I will introduce my entire journey. But before that, let me tell you, in this channel, I'll be introducing you to the hidden sciences, which are very well famous as the occult sciences, namely astrology, numerology, the Vastu. Then you might have heard about the crystals, Rudraksh. I'll talk about all the things which are beyond our understanding and which are not normally in our society, in the current era, not known with logic. So this channel is intended for those persons who right now do not believe in astrology or numerology or Vastu or any of these occult sciences, but they will believe if they find any logic. So my intention here is to teach these entire things with logic and understanding as much as possible, as easily as possible. Because you see, astrology is not for everyone, occult sciences is not for everyone, it's not everyone's cup of coffee. Okay, so that you have to understand first. But as I am a science student, I think like 5-6 years down the lane, I did not believe in all these sciences because I did not know it. As simple as that. No one taught me with logic or understanding. So let's say some astrologer predicted something. Okay. So why should I believe it? Or how does it work? Or if it works, does it have a pattern? So is it going to work for everyone? So how does it work? So without knowing the science, without knowing the logic, I don't seem to believe anything. I'm such kind of a person who will first try it, then I will say, okay, it works. Not because someone else has said is enough for me to make me believe something. And since I'm from the engineering background, I have seen most of the people around me are non-believers of this particular science, or they rather do not like to call it science, just because there are so many frauds all over the world. Yes, that's true. That's the very reason I also didn't believe in this. But during certain time, almost like 5 years back, I was in a situation where I came into touch with these particular sciences, not because I had nothing else to do, but because maybe I was inquisitive. I was, let's say, in a situation where no other thing could help. So I had no other options. I had no one else to go to. I just needed answers. I just needed solutions. Maybe the most I needed was acceptance. At that time, I came across certain courses on Vastu, on Numerology, on Astrology, and certain etc. things. Now, after I understood, after I was going through the courses, I understood that this is not only for a prediction. This is not a thing which can simply be left out. This is pure science. Yes, when it comes from a person who is proficient in coding, especially Python and Java, it is to be believed that yes, it is science, because there is undeniable logic. Everything has a pattern. Occult sciences is not something that will work for someone and doesn't work for someone else. Works for a believer, does not work for a non-believer. No, it doesn't work like that. It works for the rich. It works for the poor. It works for everyone. And when I saw the power of this science, our ancient sages who were so intelligent, so open minded, so powerful, that they could find out certain logic without the modern architecture, without the modern devices. I'm amazed at how something so scientific is simply defamed as a fictional thing. So, astrology is nothing but a manual of a human life. So everything, every device, everything which we use, which we come across in our life, has a manual how to operate. The operating procedure is present in that manual. But what about life? We have no idea, right? We are simply born, and then we are taught certain things according to the society we are born, and what is right, what is wrong is simply built into us, but we do not question why. If certain good things happen to us, why does it happen? If certain bad things happen to us, why does it happen? Is there a pattern? Is there a pattern that a person is a very rich person? Is there a pattern who is very poor, who begs? Is there a pattern? Or is it simply his or her mindset, his or her knowledge? Is it like that? Is it in our control? Or if it is not in our control, how much can we change? Whether we are aligned with our nature or not, whether we are doing a task or a work or a career which is not aligned with our nature. If we are in a certain career which is not aligned with ourselves, just because the society wants us to work, just because the society says this is a let's say a reputable job, just to please others, if I am in a certain career and it doesn't match my nature, if it doesn't, then it will create problems. So the entire goal or outcome or the purpose of the occult sciences is to make you aware who you are as a person, who you are as a soul, who you are as a mind. Are you aligned to that? The more you are unaligned with yourself, you will face difficulties. You will have problems in your life. Now, can occult sciences change your destiny? What I will say? No. There is no such remedy, no such thing which can change your destiny. That is to be decided by you. But the path which you are using or which you use to reach your destiny to the end of your life, how beautiful that will be, can be aligned using this particular science. In earlier days, in the Vedic culture, astrology was taught in the Gurukul as part of your education, primary education. Vastu was taught. So the name Jyotish, Jyoti, is nothing but light. Jyotish means the search for light. Wherever you do not have light in your life, you have problems. If there is light in a particular agenda or a particular section of your life, you just bloom. You have no problem. So wherever you have deficiency of light in your life, you face problems. And that is the only reason why you should know astrology, you should know numerology. Numerology is more famous in the Western culture. You should know Vastu, how the houses should be built, how the energy of the entire space used to be used efficiently. This is total science. So, my entire purpose for starting this channel is to explain these occult sciences using logic, using explanation as to why this works, as to why it doesn't work, or why it is like this and why it is like that, so that you get an idea, you get a concrete structure or framework where you can at least do not judge and study on your own. Because unless and until you know something, you may not believe it. There are two types of people, one is a believer, another one is a non believer. So, for a believer, there is an advantage, there is an unadvantage. There is a disadvantage. The advantage is a believer can believe things and they will have less resistance to new things. Okay, so I'm a believer. So, yeah, there is a possibility, right? So, for a believer, possibility is always open. But the disadvantage for a believer is anyone can make a fool out of them because they do not ask questions. They are simply believers. They simply can believe anyone. So that is an issue. Yes, I do not need to name or point out something which is going on in the world where this believer mindset is working as a distraction. So before you believe something, at least have the guts to question it, to read about it, to study about it, to explore it. Then if you find, okay, it's fine, it is what it says, at least judge yourself. So that is a very, very bad disadvantage for a believer. And for a non-believer, the problem is they ask too many questions. They have very hard time believing someone, believing in some new idea, believing in something new. Well, that is a good thing. That is a bad thing. The bad thing is that you have tough time believing things. You have tough time uh, opening up to a new possibility, right? But the advantage is if you are convinced once, if someone convinces you with logic, with proof that it works, not for one person, not for two person, it works for thousands of people, then you are convinced. Then you understand, okay, it works. It is simple science, like the Newton's law. If it works in India, it works in the US in the same possible way. Right? Newton's third law of motion, which says every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It is not only true for India, it is not only true for Africa, it is true for every part, everywhere in the world. So, my goal or my intention to starting this channel is to give you the logic, give you the understanding, give you the architecture, give you the framework which is behind the scene, or why it works in the most scientific way that is possible for me. Believe me, I'm not a believer. As my background is core science, I have always been taught logic. So when I learned this subject, I was convinced only when I found the logic. Even for certain things where I do not find logic, I do not believe them. So here in this channel, I will teach you things, I will make you aware of things which are present and which works for everyone. Not just for me, not just for my family, but for everyone it should work. And it will work. That's the claim. So that is my intention. So having stated my intention very clearly, and who should be my audience, let me now introduce myself. So I have been studying computer science from class 7, I think. Yeah. From there on, I have like 10, 12. In 12, I had computer science. Then I did my bachelor's in computer science. I did my master's MSc in computer science. After that, I cracked GATE in computer science. Then I got into MTech in CSE. After that, I joined an engineering college as an assistant professor. I cracked UGC NET GRF. I cracked SET. I'm pretty enough proficient in coding. I used to compete in code competitions, and right now I am teaching as an assistant professor in an engineering college in the Department of Computer Science. And like 4 to 5 years back, there was a situation in my family where I started learning this particular subject. And from then on, I have done professional courses. I have done my research, a lot of research, uh, which made me convince that the things work everywhere. So, in this channel, whatever I will teach, please note that it is the starting. I will introduce you to these subjects, but it is your task to continue studying and do research on your own. I will not teach everything, because if I teach everything here, what will happen? You will not do your own research. And as you know, in every subject which you have learned till now, you needed to study on your own. Only then you got the degree, you got the understanding. So same here. This channel is not for reels. This channel is not for entertainment. This channel is not for some, what should I say? Not for some entertainment purpose where you come to this channel, you watch a video and go and sleep. No. If you are very serious, if you want to learn something, because see, I'm a teacher. So my task is to teach something which I know in the most efficient and easiest way possible. So I'll do my best. But what you need to do is, you need to do your research very efficiently. So this channel might be a start point of where you should start. Because whatever I will teach here, everyone should know for free. You should not have to pay something to know this. Because this is the very base. As a human, you should know these things, how the energies work, what a horoscope chart looks like, and what it means. You should know that. Okay. So Yes, if you want to know in depth many things, you have to pay, you have to take some courses, you have to buy some books, you have to do many research. That's fine, but the base level you should know it. That's it. Irrespective of who you are, you might be a scientist, you might be a doctor, you might be a lawyer, you might be an engineering student, you might be a teacher, you might be at the top CEO position, but you need to know who you are and how this entire world works. Okay, so this is the intention. So maybe first I will start with numerology. I will try to explain how numerology works, and how the vibration of the numbers work in your life, how what numbers you are born with, what numbers can be used to align to yourself, the phone numbers that you use, whether they are aligned or whether they are giving you some bad results, some obstacles, the name that you have, is it aligned with you or is it acting against you? These base level things you should understand. I'll try to cover as much as I can in the numerology. Then might be I'll be starting with Vastu, wherein I will be teaching you how Vastu works, from where it came, how you should channelize the energy of the entire house, how you should efficiently use it, how you should not keep anti things in certain places which will have negative impact, how you can utilize the energies for your betterment, how you can efficiently use the energies for your success, for your prosperity, for your health. For example, a very common thing which every kid should know is, you should not build a toilet or a kitchen in the northeast part of your house. You should not do it. That's it. End of topic. No remedies, nothing will work. Someone in your house will have cancer, someone might have paralysis, someone might have some brain disease, or some kinds of cancer, or some kind of disease which is not curable. As simple as that. End of topic. Whoever says it has remedy, simply ignore it. If you have kitchen, you have a bathroom, the toilet seat, or the stove in the northeast portion of your house, you will have these problems. It is as simple as that. So no one should have it. In our Indian culture, it was not. It was never done. That is why toilet was Indian culture. Indian people did not uh, want to take the risk, so they simply made the toilets outside the house. We do what? We simply laugh, right? The Indians were like illiterates. They had the toilets outside in the fields and all that. So the logic was, in our house, did not want to take the risk. But yes, in our house, there is certain portions, there is certain part of the house where you can place the toilet, but not northeast, never. This is just an example. So I will see you in the next video. This was simply an introduction It is a bit long video, but I think this was necessary. So with the intention, okay, I forgot to explain one more thing why I'm starting it today, 31st December. So I learned this entire science at a certain time when I was at my lowest. My family was at my lowest. So we rose from that particular situations, particular situation of that life. So there is a bird, concept of a bird in Harry Potter, the Order of Phoenix. The name of the bird is Phoenix. So I like the concept. So whenever the bird dies, the ashes from the birds give rises to a new baby bird. So rise from the ashes. So this similar concept was there in a web series in Netflix. It's called The 100. You could watch it. So from the end, let us start our new journey. So I hope I'll be able to inspire or introduce at least some people, some inquisitive people, some science people into this beautiful magical science. Although it is not magical, it is pure logic. Unless and until you understand, let it be magical. So see you in the next video. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Bye.